Namaste yogis, welcome to Yoga and You. My name is Pallavi Rajankar and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently. Today's video is an educational video, which means that we won't be doing an asana practice. So it's going to be a theory video instead, but this theory is going to be extremely useful, extremely beneficial for mental clarity, for physical health, for spiritual health. And what we're going to be discussing today is Dinacharya. You may have heard this word, but today we're going to break it down a little bit for you and see how practically you're going to be able to apply this theory into your life. So what is Dinacharya? If we are to separate it, Din meaning day and Acharya meaning activity. So according to Ayurveda, they've given a whole timeline of what our day is supposed to look like and what we can do at different points of the day that actually syncs up with the environment around us, with nature around us, so that our own bodies and the nature is in sync and we're able to achieve perfect health. Okay, so let's get into the theory of Dinacharya. So according to Ayurveda, there is something called Panchabhuta, which means the 5 elements. The 5 elements according to Ayurveda is earth, water, fire, wind and ether, or ether meaning space, nothingness. Now according to Ayurveda, these 5 elements are what makes up every single object around us in different forms or in different ratios of these elements. So for example, myself, I'm made up of these 5 elements in a certain ratio which makes me the human being that I am. Let's take this mat that I am sitting on. Ayurveda says even this mat is made up of those 5 same elements, but again in a different ratio, which allows it to be a rubber mat. Okay, so based on these ratios, Ayurveda categorizes people, items, times of day into 3 main types, which are called the doshas. Now the 3 doshas are Vata, Pitta and Kapha. Vata means the main component, which is in higher majority, is wind. Pitta meaning the main component is fire, and Kapha meaning the main component is earth. Now based on these categorizations, it essentially means, say for example myself, I am someone who is a Pitta body, which means that in my body the heat element is more. And according to Ayurveda, this makes up my mental makeup, my personality, my body type, the foods I like, the diseases I may have, all of that. So based on these 3 categorizations, every person, every object, every time of day has certain characteristics. Now if we understand everything around us using this theory, we can also see that certain times of day have certain of these doshas attached to it. And if we understand every hour of the day which dosha is attached to that hour of the day, we can also do things that are conducive to that time of the day. Now let's look at timing wise, what do the doshas look like in the day? Okay, let's start from the morning. So according to Ayurveda, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. is the Kapha time of day. Kapha meaning it is grounding, it is heavy, meaning our thoughts are not wavering. It is a time that is conducive to certain things. Now what are these certain things that we can do between 6 a.m. to 10 a.m.? First one is meditation. Second one is exercise. Third one is study. Right, you may have seen studying before an exam early in the morning, the mind is not distracted, you have huge mental clarity. Studying, eating a breakfast, having a shower, and abhyangam or oil massage of the body, which promotes lubrication in the body. Right, so this is what the Dinacharya says we should be doing between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. Now let's look at the next few hours of the day. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Right, it's usually the hottest time of the day and we're usually inside. So as you may have guessed, this 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. is the Pitta time of the day, which means the fire time of the day. The sun is directly overhead, which syncs up with the Agni or digestive fire in our own bodies. which means that the meal that we eat in that time or lunch can be the heaviest meal. Sun is overhead, digestive fire, Agni is burning, we are able to digest that. And also other things that we can do during this time is work, because the Agni is high, the energy is high, productivity is high. So anything that takes a lot of productivity or all of your main chunk of work, you can do between 10 AM to 2 PM, because that is the Pitta time of day. Now next, let's move on to the next portion. 2 PM to 6 PM is Vata time of the day, which means that the main dominant energy of the day is that of wind, which means slowing down. So once you finish the most productive part of your work, you can start to slow down, which means that you can start to wrap up all your work commitments. You can make a list of things to do for the next day. You can exercise, but in a more relaxed manner, like you can go for a walk, things like that, right? Now, so that is the Vata time of the day. Now let's look at the next 4 hours, 6 PM to 10 PM, which is once again 6 PM to 10 PM is once again the Kapha time of the day, which means that you have to start slowing down. Now this is the time which is perfect for things like self-reflection, perfect for spending time with yourself, perfect for spending time with family and friends, spending quality time with people around you essentially, and also studying, but also like light reading almost, because in the morning we're doing our main work and in the evening we're doing a lighter reading, right? Now there are certain times before which we should do certain things. So for example, they say we should finish our dinner before 7 PM. We should stop using our gadgets by 8 PM. And the reason we do this is because the blue light from our gadgets stop the melatonin production in the brain, which tells our brain, hey, it's not time to sleep yet. So we want to stop that usage of blue light at least by 8 PM, and by 9 PM go to sleep, right? The reason there are these hourly Ayurvedic principles is so that you can get up once again the next morning by 5 AM and start the day once again, right? So this is essentially theory. Of course, you can tweak it here and there to make it yours, but this is essentially knowledge that has been passed down by our ancestors. Now when we just do things where you feel like, okay, it's convenient to do this now, I'm going to do this now, what we're essentially not realizing is our body clock or the natural rhythm of the body is not in sync with nature's natural rhythm. When we think of ourselves as separate from nature, that's when we get into a little bit of trouble. So using this dinacharya, if we are able to sync our own tasks of the day, we can also sync it to nature and both be in sync. So dinacharya is essentially a theory of self-care. I hope this was helpful to you. You can write in the comments if you have any questions and we'll be happy to answer it. And thank you so much. Namaste.